try and get themselves on that board just a little bit more. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen around the world, for tuning in as we are here for the PUBG Europe League. We're going to the commentary team. It's going to be Sims and D-Man here for Miramar one final time today.
Thank you very much, guys, and here we go. Match 28 underway. And where will the playing path lead us on the final Miramar match today? Still plenty of matches to go. Almost Rich at the halfway point. We're not far away.
Just about to say it's the final Miramar map of the first half of the season.
Yeah.
So these teams, obviously, they're kind of touching it. They just really slightly want to get as many points out of it as humanly possible for those who are really, really good. I say really, really good at Miramar. For those who excel on Miramar, is there three teams?
That's the Diamonds, M19, and Digital Athletics all at the top there.
Nice.
Okay, then the oh dear, you're not bailing. Dear, you're not bailing.
Uh-oh. Well, someone's going to get smashed up there, for sure. There's plenty of cars kicking around. If you can get that's the problem, is getting a hold of them first. If you're M19, you can get your body inside a vehicle. It would be best, honestly, to actually move away from that and just get the hell out, because it looks like Digital Athletics already have themselves guns and are ready to fight. FaZe might be in a bit of a pickle as well. They'll have vehicles, they'll be able to readjust, probably go to Monte Nuevo knowing that no one's actually there, so easy for them, I would say. Got to be careful of the crossfire that may come across from the Knights, if possible. Raise your edge, usual scenario for them. Head up north, everyone leaves them alone. Navi, down at the bottom all the way on the southeast. Again, not a problem whatsoever. Bump, circle comes in, and it is towards the northeast. So Navi can obviously run that coastline road straight up top. They want to take maybe Tierra Bronca. Maybe they just hit the outskirts of Impala. They can lock down this southern bank. You'll have to take a look for ENCE and potentially CrowCrowd, who will also maybe keep down to the southern end of the circle. But again, approaching this one, Lee, it all comes down to that western side. Does anybody want to play sport? Does anybody want to play?
Well, I'm just wondering why they've made
it's really
this
bizarre,
adjustment.
Isn't it? We're trying to look at it and figure out what's going on at the same time.
It's M19 that normally share Los Leones with CrowCrowd, right? And that was easy to get to. I'm intrigued. They've obviously decided, something needs to change. They're still yet to be at 100 points, whereas you're looking at the top table, and ENCE already and TSM are both in the 200+ points now, so they are miles off. And if they really want to, have some glimmer of hope of reaching the FACEIT Global Classic coming up, then to be in that top 4, they need to turn their something around. Something needs to change. Maybe get on the phone to Example and say, please, we want you back. I don't know what happened there, but either way, they're missing his kill potential quite clearly right now. And maybe they're making these adjustments, but I don't think they expected Digital Athletics to make the adjustments and Red Diamonds to make the adjustments at the same time. I'm
intrigued to see what NIP does. We saw them in some of the previous games where they stayed in their position and locked it down in Martine quite late. They have potential to do it this time round, but the issue is, will they overstay their welcome? There is a potential to try and bottleneck people in San Martin using that road to rotate. If you're not stupid, and if you're a decent team, you shouldn't be driving through San Martin. I keep saying this time and time again, the main road. But stupid as stupid does. We will get people doing it, and they have an opportunity to sit there and maybe take advantage of that. But the disadvantage is they'll then be playing from the edge. For them, the better play would be to go center. But dead center, there really isn't that much, to be honest with you. It's quite open ground.
It's like the lumpy, bumpy compounds, and actually very tricky to get to with the vehicles.
There is one, but TSM's already got it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, well, Rory's in there at the moment. You can see he'll probably go a bit further north. G2, obviously going across to Al-Azhar. This could be a chance for them to pick up a big game. They've been lacking it. They haven't had a good first or second day so far. It's been very splintered, very 2-2. Which is something that worked out well for G2 in week 1, but it seems that whether teams have adapted to them or whether they're just... I mean, it might be a case, right, with G2, because they're kind of always playing 2-2, that teams have said, oh, that's G2. There's only going to be 2 of them. Let's take the fight. So it might be a case of, like, people have just worked on them. I don't know. But either way, there's something not working for them this week. But that's the story, right? That's, you know, we're 28 games into a 60-game series. It's a long, long haul, but it happens in such a short time that if you don't adapt quick, you are going to die and fall away. Especially from that top four where G2 still currently sit. Team Liquid, a team that absolutely want to be in there. They're very close to Vitality, though, on the rotates here, Rich. Which,
to be fair, is something that we keep seeing over and over again. They are a team that generally loots. Ooh, that's got a scope in as well. They're a team that generally loots and moves at the same time as one another, and they have the same direction they like to be heading. Hello, Senpai and a doozy might be pinned back here. I mean,
that bike is smoking.
If you're M19, do you bother wasting time on this?
Yeah. If you're M19, you look for any kill you can.
I don't know. I think it's just stalling them, to be honest. It was a weird and wonderful drop anyway. I just don't see point in committing to, for the sake of 2 points. You're just going to bugger yourself up for the long game. Because you're either going to come in really late or you're going to come in undergeared.
The problem is they know they couldn't rotate too early because the Jokers do drop La Cabrera, and it's kind of a known factor. Of course, we can see that the Jokers have moved out, but they're slowly scouting that up. Now we see this real congested rotation here, and you can see Squeaky there. Also, Pokemondoy up in just the distance there. Navia coming along the eastern road. ENCE also coming across. Of course, these two teams are well aware they're going to clash with each other. Probably a little surprised to see Team Liquid coming this way. We saw them make this rotate in a previous matchup, and it really didn't work out for them, that eastern road. So I'm somewhat surprised to see them doing it again. But if you look on the map, like we can now, you know, we have the beauty of seeing this as you guys at home do. It's actually worked out brilliantly. Look at that freedom, the space that's ahead of them now is completely open.
Best case scenario for them would be Circle goes further up. If it goes further north, they've just got a clean open road to head towards it. I'd be surprised, to be honest with you, if Na'Vi decided to make an advancement on that. Surely they would know that Liquid's going to be lingering not too far in the distance. Ooh.
Well, Pokemon saw them drive past, or at least saw someone drive past. So he's going to be aware that there is a team ahead of him.
NIP here about to engage with the Knights. Knights already breaching the compound. MBS tagged up for 27, but the back foot bad's going to come in. And watch for that kill feed. Reels has got him dead to rights and confirms him as well.
Yeah, so that didn't work out for Nip there. They got to be careful. They've clashed with each other a couple of times now, NIP and the Knights. Keep seeing it working out for them. A decent nade just bouncing past there as we cut away. Na'Vi pulling up. They actually catch James out and flush him down. Samty spread down the side. Now, Liquid were all here, but they went for a 2-2 split, which is a little risky when they knew there was 4 members of Na'Vi coming. Has he got a nade available to him? It doesn't look like it.
He doesn't realize where he is. He doesn't realize where he is.
Back on NIP, you can see MBS down. He's caught out by Reels. A second one for Reels there as he comes through. And now Miraku forcing them, keeping him away. He's got Kramer and Drayden. He's flushed one, might be able to flush the second, but he's got 1 hit point left. Will get knocked in the back there. Where's the support? Where's the help? Miraku down and finished, and Reels will get MBS and NIP down inside 8 minutes. It feels bad.
Not even 8 minutes on the clock, and we've already lost several players. An entire team out in 16th place. I mean, that's one of those where you punch the desk and just think, God, why do we have to meet them?
Kramer didn't go down. He won't punch the desk.
Not this time. You know, the thing is, though, Lee, for the Knights, they've already had one battle that they've tackled. They lost a man during that engagement, and now the FaZe Clan are actually going to be potentially pulling up directly behind them. Yeah, they do have the hillside stack, but they'll get a read on this. The Knights should be careful here that they don't show their face too much, or even start kind of putting some pop shots their way, because they're a team that could quite easily just show up at the door.
Team Liquid, by the way, they did lose the one in that. Recruitment went down, so it was a 1-for-1 trade between Team Liquid, but now they've now been split. Batulin and Pokemolodoy up here. Sadovnik's a long way off them. It looks like he's going to try to rejoin them as they go deep, deep, deep into the eastern side of the circle. You see Tixu smashing his vehicle and wedging it in, not getting that one back out again. As the rest of Winstrike actually going up towards Torre Armada and probably going to swing down to Cruz del Val. So it's pretty open territory at the moment in that top side of the circle. Circle, it's not a hard shift, it's a relative center, and I think most teams will actually be pretty happy with that.
It's condensed, though. There's a lot of teams in there already. From an entry point stance, it should be fairly easy because everyone's gone center, so you'll be able to creep in and take it easy. I'm intrigued to see if Winstrike have seen that crate and maybe take advantage. They'll be in a full upgrade, and of course the arms in there, the green machine with a 4-time as well, and to get a scope you can obviously do whatever you want with it. It doesn't really matter, you can put plenty of scopes on there, but to get it fully tanked up already to rock and roll. G2, still not seeing what we saw last week. It just feels like they've lost the sparkly.
Yeah, I'd like to see TSM condense a little more than they have as well. They're still very well spread for this circle being as it is. There's Chris, obviously having those couple of pop shots onto Sadovnik. He was separated from this team, still is, looking actually for a spot for the rest of Navi to drive into. Team has done pretty well today so far. The final match of Miramar, we'll see how it works out. Still 3 alive. Digital Athletics, the last team coming out of the blue and coming across. FaZe actually made a pretty decent rotate. They've got themselves on the western edge and just come down, found themselves some freedom territory, but
where can you really go though after this? That's the problem.
That's it. You've got to start bumping
into teams. It all comes down to the circle, doesn't it? It's a, you know.
Well, that's why for me, TSM, it's such a risky spread. I mean, we obviously have the benefit of seeing the map, but they've got to know the position they're in. It's going to start getting very congested very quickly.
Peacocking. Since Martin's brought that to my attention, it's fantastic.
Me,
oh, was it? It was you?
Say,
okay.
That's right. I brought it to him, but it's the get away that a peacock tends to do. That's how it works. I lived in Warwick for a long time. We have a lot of peacock there.
Was that a peacock?
Yeah, they do make some.
I thought you stood on a cat or something. I'm not quite sure what
I've got 6 of them here. I know how they work. They don't make that noise though.
What's happening? What has this become?
Let's get back to the game, shall we? M19 making their way in. Red Diamonds, you can see they've actually gone around Cruz del Val and down in towards the south side, and surprised they're going to come in the back of Raise Your Edge. By the way, Raise Your Edge, I get it. This is their circle, right? I would like to have seen them have a better position than they have, judging by the fact they've kind of had the choice of where to start.
It's a good show of dominance. It's 4 individual compounds. They haven't all clambered into one to, you know, just sit and let a team pull up on them. So they've done the TSM split, or they've done what many other teams do, not just TSM. TSM's quite well known for it. I like the fact that TSM is setting up a bottleneck, to be honest with you. If you go past one, you're going to get lit up by the next crew that decides to turn up. It's kind of like when police put those spikers across, they'll get the information, the next team will be able to pick them up alongside the road. But I think the next fight that might actually engage here will be Liquid and ENCE. They're point blank on each other's doorstep.
They keep crawling in towards one another on the minimap, so we can see what's going on. Hopefully we'll check it out in a moment.
Here we go.
There we go. The nades are already flying, so they're already well within range of one another. As we see Gemty backing away. Yeah, Liquid, they're going to back down the hill. Actually, both disengaging from this one. They're a little too close for comfort. Once those nades start to fly, everyone's kind of like, oh, I don't really know where these are going to go. Didn't really have a good read on one another. I think they almost just surprised one another on the hill.
The problem is it's Miramar, and it's really open, and it takes one marksman with a really good shot to just third party, get initial pick. The other team gets the call of Gondor, and all of a sudden the flood comes through, and it's actually nice. Sometimes, like, oh, they're backing down, they're not doing much, but it's nice to see a bit of discipline, a bit of control, a bit of IGL work. Let's not bother taking this. Let's reposition, get into a better spot first, and then take the fight later.
Where are FaZe going to go here? Are they going to go up that hill, or are they going to go into that compound? They go, okay, they're going onto the edge compound, TSM. Or going to go on pass, which is fine. Michael should be safe. You can see he's just going to veer it around a little bit. So TSM kind of had the choice. They had all that hillside to their favor. And while FaZe are in the next circle, I don't like that spot. I'd like to see them centering more. Look at Navi. Look at Navi. They've actually managed to get into a center spot. I don't know whether it's going to work out for them, but they've got a center spot. And they were way, way, way out on the east. That's and this is what Navi, you know, they talked about it in the interview, right? They said, you know what, we've discovered, you know, right now, with the game as it is, we need to be centering earlier. And it seems to be working for them. They've had a better time of it since they've started doing it.
Individual, there's some really good players on there. You know, some decent fraggers, especially when you look towards...
They absolutely smashed it in the Wingman Duo tournament. They
I think it's
destroyed everyone.
Last week, it kind of hurt them a little bit. Going up against Liquid time and time again, straight off the bat, was really problematic. They might have knocked back their confidence, to be honest with you.
FaZe have gone over the rope. They've actually gone aggressive on this. They're going for M19. They've pushed for it. They've managed to get themselves one down. They're looking for it. They've pulled out of that compound and said, you know what, we need to clear this. We want to get that hillside, and they're going aggressive.
Look at how many angles they hold here. Be able to clean this one up. All been well. See the rest of the players in the background. Just catches, and again, welcome to Miramar. Third party instantly comes in.
CrowCrowd, yeah, popping shots off the side. Oh, that nade's going to finish him. Yeah, that's going to get him down. First FaZe gets himself a second.
Instead, simple as that. Another team that has to run the gauntlet. setup.
Oh, the Knights actually caught out short here.
Dink, dink, and 2-taps him straight to the head. Reels hits the deck as he hits the dome. Drayden will be able to hold the back lines if anyone is going to swing around or try and push it. But do they want this?
That nade looked good, by the way.
Oh, they're getting aggressive. D-Mash is being quite good here in the fact that he's laying down suppressive fire. All right, he's not suppressing much or hitting anybody, but he's just kind of drawing their attention, which allows Senna to take a much better height on them. Now he can pin them back single-handedly while the rest of them push up.
Enoch's trying to get the damage down. Uber trying to blast away. Can get across the side, but Enoch should be able to push him down here. Will not get the knock. He hit the dirt just before he managed to land it. Elite player also being pressured. They're still across that road. FaZe, Uber's making that positional play, getting across the road, gives him the position. FuzzFice down, Mexi down. Mexi finished, ENCE finished. Elite player cleaning up for M19, and FaZe Clan's move has just backfired as they lose 2, lose 3. And Uber, I believe, is the last man standing.
How many times have we said that last week?
What
even in the last game
in the world just happened?
Well, FaZe got wrecked, to be fair.
And a 4v2. And actually a 4v1, because Enoch was already down.
Did someone else
Elite player just smashed
draw their attention and maybe just ping them?
I don't think so. I think that was just Elite play going off. We didn't get to see it, but my word. The Knights were trying to get across the road. Meanwhile, the circle has adjusted. It's actually took a fairly hard shift to the north in Phase 4. There's a surprise. And again, it's a case of teams having to send it right now. The Knights look like they're kind of in trouble. Drayden, the last man standing for them. With this northern swing, Vitality took the move early to the hills, and it looks to pay off.
He's looking for anything to work right now. Knock, knock. Welcome. Smokes are already up there.
Nade in hand, yeah.
Nice pre-smoke to at least cover them as they
He was
Timmy.
I think it was Timmy that smoked it. He was Corp.
I mean, what else can you do when you've got no teammates with you, right?
Yeah.
Fair play. The effort was there.
Here we go.
Okay, so
Elite player, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Just like that. Elite player taking down 3 members of FaZe Clan.
Ooh, this ain't good. This is not good at all. Jorski's been cracked in the head, and he's also had his car taken out. Cup of Magic's just going to happily take this free kill directly in front of him. So, actually, on the backside of the rock, a beautiful death might come through here, and Digital Athletics might wipe 3.
Yeah, Tixu might well go down here as well. Raise your edge, trying to get him. He's the last man for Winstrike. Ooh. Is he going to survive down there? This is what Winstrike could be doing, right? They send it around about Phase 4, Phase 5, bang center, and just try and make it work. You know, Digital Athletics did the same. They'd already got that guy. You know, obviously Timmy, unfortunately, did get taken down. They already had those central little shacks here, there, and everywhere, and it kind of works out for them. It keeps that placement points. Elite player is not done yet. He's just took down Drayden. He's going off. I just talked about how they lacked example. Elite player making an example for the rest of the team.
Well, M19 seems to have woken up. They have been damaged as well. Lost a few individual players, and now Elite player will be running out of utility. So,
well, what's going on down in El Azhar? Look at this. Liquid and
amount
ENCE
of time
with Brexco sat watching.
And they found G2 up on the hillside, trying to get involved in that. Not going to happen, my friend.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's though they don't have to go anywhere. They can just hold this line.
Yeah, I mean, look at the position.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're not watching it, but
no.
they are absolutely smashing them right now.
Maybe GMT.
And this is a real big battle for points as well. Don't forget, ENCE at the top of the table, sitting good right now. Dustin Mar tries to come out. Squeaky caught out. There's G2 from up on high. Mikaz trying to work it down, and G2 trying to clean up. They want as many extra points as they can. It was ENCE and G2 that shared the gaming house, or gaming room, I should say, of Penta in Berlin during the break. And it looks like it may well finally be paying off. And G2 from on the hillside will collect themselves a couple of kills. Mikaz and Samty just trying to feed out in the blue.
Winstrike went down. We saw another team, I believe it was M19, back-to-back. Samty, last man standing here for Liquid. How many times have we seen that between him and Uber? God knows how many have just constantly been on their own, these single-handed engagements, trying to claw back for a higher placement here for Liquid. Chris can probably peek over the edge here. I'd expect G2 to be aware that teams could have third party in this. Mikaz just probably going to die to the blue, unfortunately. Clearly no meds on him.
Oh dear.
And now it comes down to Samty. You have...
Only bandages for Uber there as well. Oh, he has got a first aid. Okay, I tell a lie.
It's always the same too, isn't it, for both teams, both rosters?
Just Creepy crawling out. That's it. Samty's going to try and do the same. So
this hurts, though.
Let's take stock of the situation. CrowCrowd, by the way, still with 4 alive on the west side. Ooh. TSM with 4 alive further down.
Look at Navi.
Yeah, they got 3 alive. They managed to creep their way out of that compound. They knew that G2 were up there, so they're kind of looking for them at the moment. They were under third party as best they could, but G2 moving away. Chris caught solo. How did he live there? I don't know. They managed to get around. Now he will get knocked. There we go. Pokémon will make him bleed.
Big
the rest of the team had already pulled away, so he is done.
Talk about right underneath him as well. It rolls underneath and pretty much between his legs. Dead and gone just like that. Navi with another point in the bag. They can continue onwards. Samty somehow is still alive. Fair play. Get Liquid a bit of a higher placement.
CrowCrowd kind of going for it. Raise your edge. They've got Jokers still with 4 alive coming down on top of Raise Your Edge there as Dmash collects Wanted with the nade. They're pushing in on towards the compound in the distance there. There we go. Dmash coming around. Snark there pushes straight through the building. I think he ran straight into him. Yes, he did. Ran past Snark. I'm sure he did. Comes straight around. Snark totally surprised by that one. He will get caught out. Uber, meanwhile, pops out. He gets Magister in the back. He's pushing around. And Raise Your Edge go down in a hail of bullets before we even get to see what happened.
Samty gets caught off guard. Brexicor sees him at range. Job done. Wookie onto set now. CrowCrowd will be falling under the hammer of TSM. In the previous game, they laid in at so many different rosters on the angle that they had. Whereabouts they actually set up? Are they going to be on a hillside? Yes, they are. They're pretty much on the western southerly ridge. And lo and behold, would you believe it? Vitality in front of them. How many times do we see this engagement back-to-back?
Yeah, Vitality have actually moved further along, which is give Navi a chance to steal the march on the hill.
Nice
so Navi might have a downward angle on them. Look, you can see in the Uber's perspective here as he tries to push down for Dream for You there. Off in the distance, catches an angle on one. Alf plays down low, Dream for You. The Russians trying to go large against his CIS brethren here. Manages to get the spray down onto Dream for You, but it will be all for naught as FaZe Clan go down in 9th. Really is back to the drawing board at the halfway point for FaZe Clan if they have a hope of reaching the FACEIT Global Finals.
Navi Ridgeline, Vitality directly in front of them. G2 will hold the only, the one of 2 compounds inside this circle. We'll see how many are left after we get the shrink, and it's worn, and the Jokers will be able to rack themselves in there, set up a bit of a shooting range at the front because everyone else will be out in open ground. Yes, you're now going to be looking at the topography. What's better? Where's the ridge line? Where's the dips? Where the divots? Will be able to hold these angles. Now, if they really wanted to, could stay where they are, but the next circle will force them into the fight, regardless if they want to get involved or not. TSM, how do they play this? You've got the 2-1-1 split. Gustav can hold the back lines for Wookie. Again, you've got the 2 men up front, which would be Rory and Michael, just holding back and looking towards Navi and Vitality.
You can see the position. They have this big defilade from Vitality, so they're kind of okay at the moment, unless Vitality go looking, which they're not, because it's going to silhouette them. They've got this clear sight line with Pokemon and Navi down there, which they have to kind of keep an eye on, because otherwise their backs are exposed. But they're also trying to... They want to get as many kills as they can, right? They're looking at what's going on. Meanwhile, G2, they're pushing for it. Digital Athletics and Red Diamonds kind of have to engage right now because they've got no other choice in the distance. CrowCrowd trying to push onto the Jokers, who themselves not had a great day so far. So Dovnik does find Kane in the distance. Can't get him. I think that's going to have to be a long throw if he's going to make it count. Wookie finds Outplays, and that's a nade going straight to Iroh.
Fights on both fronts here. The TSM Vitality is about to kick off as well. Wookie still getting involved at range, holding back on his own. The solo YOLO players. Fair play to it. I like it, and he's a man who can just stick him off on his own to watch the back lines. Naira comes in, finishes off at Senpai. That should be an easy point. And make that 2. Moves on to a doozy as well as Merc comes in and gets the call. And this is where you need to be careful if you TSM. Don't overextend to the back too much, because if you do, Navi will then have your angle. You've got to really pick the fight here and be very careful about it, and don't over.
That's what we were talking about.
Where they're going to be going.
They had that angle on Pokemon, and they've left it, and now Navi have just moved straight in. Right behind him. Look at that, completely exposed. Rory getting shot in the back.
But thankfully for Rory, he was looking already and preempting it. So they have the vehicle they can play off the back of, more than likely smash out the wheels and give themselves a bit of leverage. But then if Vitality want to
Yeah.
This is pretty...
Navi can't peek too much because they're just going to call it. Now look at G2. G2 have also come around and gone for that little ridgeline position. Red Diamonds go down in 8th place, and it's Digital Athletics that picked up all of the kills on them. Dream for You also finished off, so CrowCrowd will go 7th. Pokemolodor is pushed up close, and now G2 and the Jokers all turn on towards Digital Athletics. They are now going to be the next focus targets, but Vitality lose one. Pokemolodor peeks up and says good night. Oof. Can't finish him off. The nade comes out from Wookie, saving the Frenchman.
That's a big bad Kobe. Up and over, 99 and knock.
Sadovnik, they're taking 3 fights on Navi. They've gone for G2, Vitality, and TSM. Pick one. Don't go for 3. This is insanity.
I think he's just trying to hold too many angles here. There ain't really nowhere else they can go, and they've gone early to the circle, and fair play to them. There was only one really way to do it, and that was inland.
And they have to push on that. Like, Vitality is the spot that everybody wants right now because they have these little shacks. That is in the circle. G2 trying to get as much third party in there. They've got the angle down on where Sadovnik is. The other side of that rock, he can't move because he will get shot by G2. Batulin's actually got close enough to get revive on Pokemolodor. Digital Athletics lose another, so that leaves Iroh, the last man, in the center, just as he was in Minsk so many times. TSM looking to try and benefit. You can see in the distance, you got Michael and Wookie trying to get shots on towards the Jokers.
Michael and Wookie will be able to advance onto the tree line if they need to. Nasus. Ooh, that's a good peek.
Yeah, he's... Nice, and that's such a risky peek as well, because as soon as he pops up, G2 take that shot on him.
They're not even peeking, really. It's more like poking and just trying to show your hands and show some level of dominance. Gustav's also in the backlines as well. This is dirty from him. He'll just walk in with the AKM.
Vitality again. Oh, that nade is going to follow in this time.
Go on, both of them.
That's twice that Gustav has done that. Pokemolodor has had the angle on Vitality and absolutely slaughtered them, and twice Gustav has caught Pokemolodor and downed him. And now TSM are going to move into that same spot and probably catch them out. There's the nades coming out from G2 now. Vitality are all 4 in the shack, trying to keep themselves alive at the moment.
Let's not forget how much utility they've committed to this position. They've been using smokes, they've been using meds, their gear's going to be smashed, they've been knocked several times, and the bleed outs are going to be quick. One nade from Sadovnik would give him an absolute cluster bomb inside that little compound. You can bet TSM, ooh, at there. Wookie is very, very weak, so he's been dinked to the head. We'll be able to get his health back.
It's the only thing stopping TSM pushing onto Vitality right now is the Jokers. They just keep them at bay, and every time they peek around, G2 also take a shot.
I suppose for G2 as well, it depends where they go next. They'll finish off Iris, that's DA.
Where did Vitality go there? Because at the moment, they are sitting ducks. I mean, they're in a shack. They've got the safety of the shack.
Playing too
but they're
passive
one nade away from being wiped out.
They are, but they're very weak. I would assume that their gear is all tanked up here, so they can't really take a... You know, next fight survivability is going to be extremely low.
Dimash tossing nades towards TSM in the distance. We can have a look towards that fight maybe, as Sadovnik looks like he's just going to keep holding that angle.
That's kind of one of their benefits for TSM, is that if a nade comes up and over and knocks one of the individual players, like Michael, for example, who's on his own, the Jokers might get baited into
G2's nade just coming over.
The Jokers could be baited into thinking that more damage. So you come over, you go for that initial flush on the one knock, then the rest of TSM just open upon you.
Brexco still trying to cook one up here. He's going to run a little closer, try and toss it. He's trying desperately to get it in that window. Dimash caught out. And there is the nade. That's what we're talking about. We didn't get to see it, but we saw Brexco cooking it for an hour, and then finally does toss it out there. Shadow is going to be the last man. Sadovnik does not go for it. Is he really going to get all 3 back on their feet? That would be criminal if someone lets this happen.
Can you imagine how quickly they're going to bleed out in future? That's got to be what? Second, maybe even third. Well, definitely second, maybe third for a few of them.
Jazz is just keeping the peak by the car, and now he's crawling in and says, yep, no more nades to come. I'll come back in. Back 3 on the feet.
So G2 could go on to Jokers, then TSM could help wipe them out. G2 will now move on to the back of Nav. Oh, Sadovnik's actually got the call.
And he's got it around him against the head and flushes Brexco down. And suddenly G2 down to 2. Gets a couple of shots, but eats a blue in the back. Jazza burning out. There's the molly. Nasus and Jazza going down. Gustav stealing it. Stealing another. Brexco will get it. And this was the danger from Vitality. They were sat in the shack too long. They had to move. And now Shadow, the last man standing. TSM with 4 alive. Jokers with the 2. G2 with the 2. And Na'Vi with the 1.
Kemba's gone. Might be able to get a res, but won't be too much. Kate's knocked out. He actually overextended a little bit, may have overpeaked there just for a second to try and make something happen. The nade hits the rock, just stays alive somehow. More than likely expect these players just to flood this and flush him. Get him out of the way, and that's another one down. Gives them quite a lot of breathing room here. This is going to be back-to-back wins for TSM.
It may well be. It may well be. It certainly put them in first place already, so TSM retaining and returning to the top spot. The question is, how will it work out? Michael gets himself another Udyr down. That's going to be Na'Vi out in 5th place. They didn't have a great deal from it. Vitality's big fat 0 in the kill score. Looks like Kane's going into the blue, so he's going to deny himself what he can as now they move in. Shadow,
Look at this.
You're a done man. Senya's going to run for it. Who's going to be third? Who's going to be second? That's the question. Shadow will go down. 3rd place for Vitality, and it will be Senya for the Jokers that will fall. And TSM, 2 back-to-back chicken dinners for the boys once again, and that is a crack